Gentle and refined, osteoporosis safe.
Hello, this is a class specifically for my mum. Happy birthday, this is your little birthday present. It's a general mat class aimed at people who are injured. It's also safe for people with osteoporosis. So this one, be careful, do work to your limits. If you've got any questions, please ask me. But all these exercises should be safe to be done if you have osteoporosis, if approved by your doctor, and if you know what you're doing with Pilates. Okay, let's get going. So we're going to stand up nice and tall, bringing your feet together in a Pilates stance. So I want you to squeeze those heels together. If you overpronate a little bit like I do, lift your arches of your foot slightly. It's a bit like turning your knees out. If I don't, my knees, I don't know whether you can see, they drop in. So if I think about turning them out slightly, not only does that draw my heels together, it also wakes my glutes up, that very underused muscle. So just think about lifting those arches slightly off the floor. It's as if there's a little pin on the floor underneath that arch. So you just want to lift it away and really try and engage those glutes. Once you've engaged those, draw your inner thighs together, glue them together. Your legs should feel strong like a Greek column. Scoop your abs in. Pull that belly button away from your clothes. Draw it in towards your spine. Scooping it in. Lift your ribs away from your hips. Lengthen that spine. Make yourself as tall as you can. Stretching it up. Relaxing your shoulders down your back. Bringing your crown of your head to the ceiling. Remember, that's not the top of your head. It's the bit just off the back. The bald spot. So that's the bit you want to reach into the ceiling. So you've got to look up slightly under your eyelids. That works your eyelids. We work every muscle here. Can't say I don't give you everything. So lengthening up. Some of you now may be feeling really stiff. So just relax it all off slightly. You want to be standing tall, not to attention. So lengthening up. Remembering to be keeping that scoop, holding you strong. Scooping in, wrapping that seat. Take 3 big breaths in. Breathing in. And breathe it all out. You want to think about pushing those ribs out wide. So breathe in. And out. Last one. Big breath in. And breathe it out. Okay. So bring in your feet now. Sort of shoulder width. Keeping them slightly turned out. We're going to make sure you can really find those glutes. So again, think about pushing those knees out and around, really wrapping that seat, lifting those arches. If you pull them off the floor, you should wake those glutes. They should feel alive. I don't want you clenching, pulling them in like, you've got to really hang on because you're in the middle of a field, but I just want them to feel alive. Just make sure you can feel them so they're awake. So have a go. Pull those heels in together and release them off. Pull them in and release. Remember, if those arches are flat, you're not going to find the same effect. Your legs will twitch, so you want to make sure that those knees are turned out, your arches are lifted as you wrap that seat. And release. 2 more. Wrap and release. Last one. And release. Okay, I've got a nice little exercise for you now. So this not only works your glutes, but it also works the head of your femur. So it really helps strengthen those hips, which is oh so important, especially if you do have osteoporosis. So I want your feet in parallel now. Make sure they're under your hip bones. Now, I don't care how much baggage you're carrying on the side, okay? Because I can't see you to check you. I want them under your hip bones. So you can find your bones and make sure your feet are directly underneath them. Okay. So it's all about standing tall, lengthening up. It's like you have a piece of string on the top of your head, pulling you tall. So this is called sassy hips, okay? So you've got to embrace your inner party girl. Hands onto your hips, okay? And we're going to lift one heel and drop into that hip. I don't let you do that very often. And then push through that heel to come back up. Drop into the hip. Push to come up. Keep pulling those belly buttons away into your spine as you drop and lift. Okay, so it's all on one side. pulling those abs in, reaching your crown taller. So you lift and drop, lift. Each time you lift, think about pulling that seat round. And then we're going to speed it up. Yeah, get that hip moving. You should be feeling that in your glute. Lift that arch if you're not. Pressing it out, reaching yourself taller. Keep that collarbone wide, don't curl in, stand tall. Yeah, you're looking good there. And then come up tall, bring your heel down. Good, you might need to give your legs a little shake off before we do the other side. Okay, so again, make sure you're standing with your feet in parallel. Your arches are lifted. Going to do the other leg now. So scoop that belly in, shoulders down, standing tall, lift the opposite heel up and sink down into the opposite hip. Press up and sink. So nice and slow to start with. So you're pressing through that heel to lift you up tall. Keep that length, keep those shoulders down. Keep that arch lifted. There's so much to think about, I know. You should be feeling it in that glute. I am. So drop it down, press through that heel, come up tall each time. And are we ready to speed it up? Get that hip going. Yeah, work those hips. See, working out's fun. So keep pushing through that glute, lifting that arch, reaching yourself taller. Yeah, we should have some music going. I expect you've all got something playing in your head that's fun. And then come up tall and bring your heel down. Give your legs a nice shake off. Good, hopefully those glutes are working now. So we're just going to open our chest. This is a really nice thing to do. Every time I teach this exercise, I say I should do this every morning when I wake up. Never remember, but it does feel good. So standing up nice and tall. So lengthening up, scooping in. We're going to lift your arms, and as you lift your arm, lift your chest as if it's up to the sunshine and circle around. So breathing in, lift your chest up to the ceiling, reach those shoulder blades down and around. Lift up, stretching up. And breathe out as you come down. 2 more, really lifting that chest. Pulling those bellies in. Last one. And come around. Now, doesn't that feel good? It reminds me of the cornflakes advert where they all stretch up in the morning, looking up to the sun. Good. Okay, bring yourself safely down onto your mat. The ideal, as I'm sure you are all aware, is 1 foot behind the other, coming down with control. What I don't want is anybody falling, damaging anything. So come down safely onto your mat. Okay, lie yourselves down on your mat, making sure your feet and knees are hip width apart. So remember, that's your hip bones again. So I'm not there to correct you. Check for yourself. Arms relaxed by your side. So I just want you to stay here for a moment. And just imagine your spine is melting down into the mat. Shoulders are relaxed, feet are relaxed. Have a couple of big breaths, filling those ribs with air. And emptying those lungs. Pressing those ribs wide and down into the mat. And coming down. Last one. And coming down. Okay, now we're going to really just try and find these deep transverse abdominis muscles. Okay, they're the ones you're meant to be working, but sometimes they can be tricky to find. So while you're lying here, I want you just to think about making your feet as light as you can. So those abs are going to be working to lift those feet off the mat. So don't actually lift them. They probably won't lift off. And make sure your back is anchored on the mat. I just want to make your feet light. See if you can feel those abs pulling into the mat. And then relax them back down. So using those abs, imagine those feet are getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter as if they're going to lift off. And then bring them back down. So you should feel the work deep inside. It might feel a bit strange. So lifting those feet, making them light. Make those feet light, make those feet light, make those feet light, as if you're going to lift them off. And release. One more. There's a couple of tricks here. Some work differently for different people. So if this isn't working for you, try the next one. And then relax. Okay, so next trick is to imagine you are pulling your belly button into the floor. So you've got to pull that belly button down without actually pushing your back down like this. So it's a bit of an exaggeration, but I don't want any of that to get your belly button down. No lifting up. Just imagine that belly button like there's a needle and thread gone through your belly button. So it's making like a button on an old-fashioned headboard, you know, where you've got the sunk-in buttons. So it's going in through your belly button and it's pulling it into the floor to make that dip where the button goes. And then release. So imagine that thread going through your belly button, pulling it into the floor. Now you really should be feeling your abs with that one. Absolutely kills mine. Again, as I say, if you're struggling, give me a shout. I'll do what I can to help. So pull that needle through that belly button into the floor. Spine doesn't move though, you're just pulling that belly button in. Gonna make it tight. And release. Last one. Pull that needle through, pull that belly button in. And release. Okay, one more. If you're not feeling it by now, maybe this one will be the one for you. Okay, so now you've got to imagine your clothes are getting hot, okay? So you want to pull your tummy away from your clothes. So lying there now, just pull that belly button away from your clothes. Pull it away, leave your clothes there. And then release it off. And again, pull that belly button away from your clothes. Pull it away, pull it away. And release. 3 more. Pulling that belly button away from your clothes. So if you're pulling it down and away from those clothes. And release. Really tight pair of trousers, you've got to zip up. Pull that belly button away. And release. Last one. And release it off. Whew, mine's exhausted. Definitely feeling that. So hopefully you've all found that deep muscle. That's the really important one for supporting your spine. So even if you don't do anything else in a day, just try and work that one. If you've got 2 minutes, lie on the floor, do a couple of these exercises. It'll really help strengthen that muscle. And then once your body gets used to using it, then it'll use it far more in the exercises because it'll be there and it'll go, yeah, I'm ready for work. I can do something. So just try and do that for a couple of minutes. Okay, we are now moving on to rib cage arms. So float your arms to the ceiling, okay? I want you to plug your arms into your shoulder sockets. So I don't want them all lifted up here. I want them just relaxed down onto the mat, okay? So this isn't really about your arms, it's about your abs, keeping your ribs down. So you're going to take a breath in, palms facing your knees, reach your arms overhead, keep pulling those abs in, keep that spine anchored on the mat, and lift back up. The aim is not to touch the floor. The aim is to keep your spine anchored on the mat. Depends on the flexibility of your shoulders, how far you will get. It's very rare to actually be able to reach the floor. If you're touching the floor, the chances are you're either hypermobile or you're cheating. So focus on pulling those abs that you've now found deep into the mat. It'll keep those ribs really still. And lifting up. Keeping those hands shoulder width apart. One of the favourite tricks is to take your hands wider because then you can reach the floor. It's easy then, see? If you take them wide, you can reach. So you want to keep them shoulder width. Keep them shoulder width, keep them long. And no bending your fingers either to touch, that's cheating too. So yeah, know them all. And I guarantee one of you watching this will be doing it. So keep pulling those abs into the floor. Last one. And then bring your arms all the way down by your side. Good. Okay, this isn't an exercise I'd necessarily do with people with osteoporosis, but if you happen to be going into another class and people are doing it, this is quite a good little modification. So the exercise people might be doing in class is called curl up. Now curling up is the worst thing to do for osteoporosis, but you can still get a benefit out of this exercise. The full curl up, please don't do it, is this exercise. Okay. So we're going to do that exercise now without the curl up. So I want you to think about pulling those abs into the mat. Pull that belly button down and then just reach those shoulders down and away. So I don't want them up here. I want you to think about pulling that shoulder down and away. So you're opening your chest, reaching those shoulders down and behind. Pull that belly button into the floor and relax. Scoop that belly in, reach your shoulders down and away, reach long through those fingers and relax. Scoop that belly into the floor, roll those shoulders down and away, reach them down your back, reach long through those fingers and relax. 2 more. Scoop that belly button into the spine, reach your shoulders down and away, lifting your hands just about to hip height, reach through those fingers and relax. Last one. Reach down and away and relax. Good, working hard so far, I have to say. So we're now going to do an exercise called knee folds. Now, this is an exercise that looks so easy. Everyone just goes, oh yeah, that's easy, lifting your knees, right? That's not doing it properly. It is really easy to lift your knees. Not if you're using your abs. If you're doing this properly, your abs will burn. Okay, you're probably going to hate me after this one and go, seriously, you want me to do more? If you're not doing it properly. Okay. Couple of tricks, because your body wants to cheat. Okay, it will want to cheat. So you've got to keep an eye on yourself. Keep your shoulders relaxed. They're going to want to do the work for you. I know they're a long way away from your legs, but they're going to want to do the work. So keep your shoulders relaxed. Pull those abs into the mat. The foot that stays on the floor must be light. That's the other trick, is you're going to want to push into it. Okay, so pull that belly button into the mat. Relax your shoulders. One foot is light. Lift the other leg off the floor. And then lower it back down with control. Your abs are working like a winch. Alternate legs. They're working like a winch to control the movement of that leg. So check your shoulders are still relaxed. Mine want to tense. You see, I had to relax them myself. Check the opposite foot is light on the floor. Relax those shoulders. Soft feet. Pull that belly button into the mat. Relax your shoulders. Soft feet. Now, if you find your spine is arching, I want you to pull those abs in more or do a smaller movement. Okay, I don't want any arching of the spine. If you haven't got the power in your abs yet, you might find your spine wants to lift. If that is the case, just do a smaller movement. Relax those shoulders. It's just as hard, believe me. Often smaller is harder. So pulling those abs in fact, smaller is harder. Keep that foot light, shoulders relaxed. Abs should be begging for mercy. Just one more each side. And have a rest. Feeling it? Yeah. No one said Pilates for osteoporosis was easy, I tell you. Okay. So, in my usual class, we do the 100 and standing. If you're in a mat class and you want onto modification, this is how you do the 100 in a mat class. It's perfectly safe for you to do, as long as you don't lift your head. Okay, it's all, no curling up. Still got to work out in your abs. If your abs aren't working out, something's going wrong. Okay, talk to me. I'll help you out. Okay, so bring one knee in, bring the other knee in. Now you can either do the 100 with your legs in tabletop, not relaxed, I don't want them all sunk in. You want to be like a table, okay? You can put your 3-course dinner on there. Or you can have them long to the ceiling, whichever works for you best. Now I want you to be squeezing those heels together, okay? So that those glutes are working. So reaching long, remember that curl up where your shoulders reach down and behind, lift your arms. We're going to pump your arms, breathe. In, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, abs in, 2, 3, 4, 5, scoop it deep. Breathe in, breathe out. take your legs long. Wrap your seat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Scoop deep. Belly in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Heel squeeze. Glutes wrap. Last 10. Last 5. Bring your knees in now. You can bring them in. And bring your feet safely down onto the floor. Okay. I'm feeling all right? I'm hoping so. If anything hurts other than your abs, note it down, let me know. Okay, if your abs are screaming, you're doing it right. Okay, so we're going to do one leg circle. So reach one leg long down the mat. Okay, your foot is flexed and your toes should be in line with your nose. Don't curl up to check though, please, because that's not going to do you any good, okay? Just know that it should be down the middle. Bring your other leg in, give it a nice stretch. And then take that leg to the ceiling. Now, the ideal is that leg is straight. I find that really challenging because I have tight bits in my leg. So just take it long, but I don't want it forced. Okay, this is all about your hip joint. So that's what we want to focus on, not the fact that your leg hurts. You can do it with your leg bent. Quite happy with that. The only danger is then people tend to do this. I don't want any movement in the knee. So add a little bit of turnout. Arms can anchor by your sides, all in your abs, holding you still. So pull that belly button into the floor again. Keep the work in this hip joint. We're going to draw a circle and pause. Draw a circle and pause. We want the work in the joint. So your hips are still. Last one, change direction. Out and pause. Work in the joint and pause. Round. 2 more. Last one. And then give that leg a stretch. And change your leg over. So anchoring that heel on the mat. Bringing this leg in for a stretch. So it's not about big circles. It's all about working in the joint. We want to strengthen these joints. It's so, so important. So important. I can't stress enough how important strong joints are. Add your turnout. Anchor your arms. Pull that belly button into the floor. Circle round and pause. Round and pause. Work in the joint. Hips are still. Last one, change direction. Out and around. So scooping in. Keeps your hips still. 2 more. Last one. And bring that knee in. Okay, we're going to come up into sitting now. So if you do suffer with osteoporosis, I want you to go onto your side and then push yourself up safely. Okay. So rolling like a ball is another exercise you may well come up against in class, and rolling is really not going to be great for you, okay? Just think of the pressure onto your spine. But an isometric hold can be just as much work, believe me. If you're doing it properly, it's going to work. I was actually learning very recently that an isometric hold can give you more muscle building than actually contracting a muscle. So this will be good for you. So rolling like a ball without the rolling, I want you to sit up. So you're nice and tall. Take your hands behind your thighs. Okay, and I want you to just sit back slightly and see if you can lift your feet off and balance. Okay, so keep thinking about lengthening all the way up your spine. I don't want you to sink. Okay, come on. You want to get on. Sit up tall, reach through that crown, you're working hard. So you lengthen through that crown, then look in towards that belly. Pull that belly button into your spine for all it's worth. Shoulders are down, collarbones wide. So you're not all hunched in, collarbones open. Reaching those shoulders down your back. Pull them down your back. Pull those abs in. Looking down at your belly. Holding it there. It's going to be hard. Pull those abs in. Pull those shoulders down. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. And bring your feet down. Good. It's not so easy, huh? Who needs rolling? Okay. Right, as if your abs haven't had enough. See, I keep giving. This is the abs series. So again, this comes up in classes a lot. You can do it all with your head down, okay? I sometimes run a whole class with the head down. It really makes people focus on the work in their abs. So you're not missing out. It should be working just as hard. So, again, come onto your side and take yourself down safely onto the mat. We're going to start with a single leg stretch. So, remembering, pulling those belly button in, thread that needle through, pull it into the mat. Bring your knees in, take hold of one leg, reach the other leg away. Okay, so you're reaching it long to the ceiling, pulling the other one in. You want to use those arms, get those working. So your abs are pulling in to keep your hips still. As you change legs and change legs, pull those abs into the mat, reach the other leg away, pull it in, use those arms, make them work, and reach, and pull, and change, last one. Draw your knees in, bring one foot down at a time safely onto the floor. Well done. So we've done a single leg stretch, now we're going to do a double leg stretch. Just going to have to shuffle over slightly, I'm going to hit the wall. Okay, so again, this can be done with your head down. Pull those abs into the mat, bring one knee in, bring your other knee in. Now, depending on the length of your arms, because you've got your head down, you're not probably going to be able to reach your ankles, which is the ideal. I can't at the best of times, so, you know. So if you can, take hold of your legs to draw them in, that's great. Or just have them nearby, depends on your body shape, but just have your hands towards your legs. If you can pull them in, brilliant. Heels squeezing together. Scoop your belly into the mat. Reach your arms and legs up like a table. And then circle your arms in as you draw your legs in. Coordination. Reach out long, squeeze those heels. Circle your arms, bring your legs straight in, no starfish. Reach it out. You pull those abs in to pull it in. Squeeze those heels, reach out with your seat. Pull it in with your abs. 3 more. Come on, you can do it. Reach. Scoop it back in with those bellies. Last 2, reach it out. Scoop in with those abs. Last one, reach for that seat. How very American. And draw it in. Bring your feet down onto the mat. Good. We all right? Abs working? Excellent. Okay, so this is scissors. Again, it might come up in class. I just want you to do a small movement, okay? Little scissors. You know, like when you're cutting wrapping paper and it glides through and you just have to do a little bit of a scissor. So not a great big scissor, just a little hint, hint. Okay, little scissors. So pull those abs into the mat, bring one knee in, bring the other knee in. If you can, reach your legs long. Now again, they don't have to be straight. This is what happens if mine goes straight. See them? Wiggle. Yeah. If I really wrap my seat hard, I can hold them. But that needs a lot of glute strength. So see how you get on, but reach them as long as you can. Pull those abs in again. Keep those hips anchored. It's all about working in the hips. And you're going to do a little scissor. Scissor. Keep pulling those abs in. They're going to be what's holding you. They should be screaming for mercy. So pulling those legs. Make sure those heels are brushing. Relax those shoulders. Don't let your shoulders hold your legs. Relax those shoulders. I know it's hard. If it's too much, put your feet down. Last one. Bring your knees in. Bring one foot down at a time. It's hard, isn't it? Those abs working? Good. Right. This is the last one we're going to do. And this is like a build on knee fold. So this is pond dipping. So imagine that lovely light touch you get when you just touch the top of water and it ripples. That's what we're aiming for, okay? So bring one leg in, bring the other leg in. No shoulders. Relax those shoulders. Scoop those bellies in, and you're going to touch really light in the pond and come back in. Pull those abs in, touch light in the pond. Relaxing those shoulders, don't let them hold you. Same rule as knee folds though. If your spine is starting to arch, you don't have to quite touch the water. Make it smaller. You want to keep those spines anchored on the mat. Okay, so it depends how strong those abs are. Otherwise the work will go into your back. So if you can touch the water, keeping your spine anchored. That's brilliant. Relax those shoulders. Guarantee it's gone into your shoulders by now. And this time bring one foot down. And the other foot down. Well done everyone. That's your abs series. Have a nice stretch. However you find it comfortable to stretch, reach yourself out. Have a couple of big breaths. And then roll onto your side, bring yourself safely up into sitting. And we're going to do a spine stretch forward. So again, this is one that I wouldn't traditionally do, but if it comes up in class, this is a nice little alternative for you. I don't know which way, I'm going to do it this way around, okay? So we want to keep your spine really flat. Now, depending on how tight your hamstrings are, you might want to sit on a yoga block to lift you up, or you might want your legs bent. But what I don't want is sat like this, okay? I don't want any rounding. It doesn't work. You need to be sat up really, really tall, right up on those sit bones. So if you need to get yourself your yoga block or whatever you need, pause the video, go grab one. Paused. Right, so sit yourself up tall, feet are hip width, reaching through your heels. So you've got to have that length in your spine. If you haven't got that length, as I said, bend your knees or sit up on a block. Okay, yellow pages will do if you haven't got a block, although I don't think they even exist anymore. Okay, so no rounding. This is all about hinging. So depending on how much movement you've got in your hips, you might not be able to hinge very much. I'm going to bend my legs slightly today. So lengthen up. I want you to think about reaching through that crown. Bring your arms forward, and you're just going to reach forward, keeping that spine long, 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 and lengthen up. So I don't want you curling over. Okay, we want to keep this long. So it's going to be a stretch through the back of your legs, all the way up the back of your spine. Keep it long. Breathe in, sit up tall. Two more. Breathe out. Pull those abs into your spine as you reach forward. Keep those shoulders down and relaxed. Breathing in, lengthen up. Last one. And lift up tall. As I say, that's not one I would generally choose to do, but if it comes up in class, it's nice for you to have something to do. Okay, saw is another one. And again, stay up on your block. I've just spun around so you can see me, so stay where you are. Still sit up on your block. It's all about that lengthened spine again. If you do this with a rounded spine, there's a chance you're going to do self-damage. So if you cannot sit with a long spine, please leave this exercise out. Give me a shout if you want something else. Okay, so it's got to be tall. You want to think of your spine as a long strand of cotton reels. Okay, so your cotton reels are all tall, and we're going to twist those cotton reels. So we can't have them all hunched over because they're just going to make a mess. So if that piece of string with your cotton reels comes out the top of your head, bring your arms out wide, take a big breath in, staying really tall. I want you to twist, twist, twist and come in. No bouncing, but with each twist, see if you can just reach a little bit further and come in. You won't go more than 45 degrees. If you do, you're cheating. So you breathe out, 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 and come in. Make sure you're really tall, lengthening through that spine. Make your spine longer as you twist. Come in. One more each way. Lengthen up, 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 and center. Sit tall. Relax those shoulders. 2, 3, come into the center, bring your arms down, relax your legs. Good, you're working hard. So we're going to go on to our front now for 3 little exercises, which are all about extending the chest. Opening your chest, reaching your shoulders down. It's all about extension. Extension of the spine is fine with osteoporosis, so please don't worry that it's going to damage you. It's fine. Okay. Unless you've got any specific issues, obviously. So we're going to start with swan. So safely come down onto your front. I hope you can still hear me. So your forehead should be down on the mat. Have your arms as wide as they're comfortable. They can be in tight, you can have them out wide. It depends on your shoulders. Now with all these extension exercises, the more you push your feet into the floor, the more it will work your thoracic area of your spine. Okay, so that's this bit where you breathe, okay, that gets tight. So, pull that belly button towards your spine, push your tailbone away, so there's no pressure in your lower spine, and I want you to lift your head, reach your shoulders down your back, press those feet down, press those feet down. Lengthen up and lower down. Now I don't want you doing a cobra, so I don't want you up here. Okay, that's a cobra, that's not what we're doing. We're trying to get the movement here. You might not come up very far to start with, because that bit doesn't want to move. So, again, pull those bellies off the floor, as if the floor's on fire. Pull that belly button away. Push your tail away. Lift your chest, lift your chest. Lifting your head, but make sure you don't tip your head back. We don't want to make creases in the back of your neck. Push those shoulders down your back. And lower down. Last one. Pull your abs off the mat. Push your feet down. Lift your chest, reach your shoulders down into your back pockets. Open that collarbone. And lower down. Turn your head to one side and have a rest. These are quite challenging, so see how you get on. Okay, I really hope you can see me down here. The next one is called single leg kick. So I want you to come up, you're the Sphinx now, okay? And you've got to be proud of yourself. You have the most beautiful necklace on, okay? So you want to be lifting that chest. You don't want to be down here, you want to lift that chest. Pull that belly button right into your spine and you're lifting that chest. Shoulders are reaching down your back. Should be challenging to hold this position. You should be feeling it across your shoulder blades. Pulling those abs in, lifting that chest. Then with one leg, we're going to kick your bottom 3 times. We're going to kick, 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 stretch it away. And the other side, kick, 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 and stretch it away. Keep pulling those abs into your spine, opening that collarbone as you kick, 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 and reach. Lifting that chest. Shoulders reach down your back. Last one. And then bring yourself down. And just turn your head, have a rest for a minute. Okay, so your next exercise is imaginatively called double leg kick. So that was your single leg kick. So you need to have your heels together for this one if you can. Start with your head to one side, arms long by your side. Okay. So keeping your arms by your side, see if you can wrap that seat. Find those glutes, wrap that seat, squeeze those heels together. You're going to kick your bottom 3 times. You're going to kick, kick, kick. And then you're going to lift your chest, reach your arms back like you've been shot out of a cannon. Turn your head to the other side, lower back down. And again, kick your bottom 3 times. Pull those abs off the mat as you kick, kick, kick. Reach those legs away, scoop those bellies in, lift your chest, reach your shoulders down your back. Turn your head and come down. And again, kick, 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 reach, lift those shoulders down and back, fire yourself out of a cannon, lifting that chest, lower your head to the other side, kick, 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 last one, lift, fly through the sky, reach through that crown, and lower down. Well done. Those are hard. So take a breather. And then when you feel ready, turn yourself onto your back for shoulder bridge. So I think this one's badly named personally. I think this should be called glute bridge. It's what it's called in the gym, and it's all about your glutes. Okay, so get yourself into position. Have your feet quite close to your bottom. If you can have your legs together, that's great. If you've got a block, like this, and you want to put that between your knees, that's quite good. That can really help get your glutes engaged. Okay, so you can do it with a block or without. I'm going to do it without for now. But squeeze those heels, squeeze those knees together. So remember, your spine needs to stay long. No rolling down bone by bone. If that's what they're doing in class, I want you to do it my way. You're going to lift up and lengthen that spine, one long piece coming down. Okay, this is your modification for you. Scoop your belly in, squeeze those heels, lift your arches if you need to, find your glutes. And then big breath in, lift your hips up. Long move, wrap that seat, hold that seat there, lengthen that spine, lower back down, long spine, one piece, back down. And again, breathe in, lift up. Keep those shoulders relaxed as you lengthen that spine, one long piece, lowering down. Breathe in, lift it up. Wrap that seat, use those glutes, keep that spine long as you lower down. Last one, scoop it in, shoulders relaxed, lift up. Wrap those glutes, lengthen that spine into the mat. Good. There's lots of variations with that one. I can make it so hard. Okay, but not today. Roll onto your side. And we're going to do the side kick series. So, depending on how you feel, you can either have your arm long, you can put a cushion or a towel between your head and your arm, or you can rest on an elbow. So whichever position is most comfortable for you. Bring your legs forward to the front of your mat. So you're lying along the back, your legs come to the front. Place your other arm in front of you. Okay, so that's going to keep you supported. Again, the work needs to be in your hip. I don't want big wild movements, I want to strengthen your hip joint. Okay, this is important. So pull those abs in, pull your collarbone down, shoulders are wide. So you're not just sort of slumped in a heap. Your body is looking alive, you're working hard to keep it long. So I want you to lift that top leg hip height. Remember what I've said about your hips, in line with your bones. And we're just going to turn it out and in. Turn it out and in. So the work is in that hip joint. We're getting some strength. So your glutes and your inner thighs are doing the work. 2 more. Last one. And then just rest that leg down for a minute. Okay, so the first exercise is called front and back. Now, depending on how much mobility in the hip you've got will depend on how big your movement is. What I don't want to see, this is how not to do it, is this, okay? I'm not bothered. That's not an exercise, that's just rolling around, okay? We want it in this joint. So lift that leg, add a little bit of turnout, not forced, just a little bit. And then take it as far forward as you can, keeping it in that joint. And then take it back with control. So I don't want to lean and back. You want to keep it in that hip joint. So you might not go very far. But the more you do it and work in that joint, then it will get better. If you don't work it, it won't get better. Cheating won't get better. So you just want to work it in that joint. Try and keep it the same height. So I don't want it going forwards and then up. That's no good either. That's not in the joint. That's all come out. You want to keep it as if you're swiping a load of stuff off a table. Okay, so 2 more. Keeping it level, keeping it in that joint. And then lower that leg down, have a rest. Okay, this one is called up and down. Okay, imaginative again, I know. And again, keep it in the joint. Okay, so I don't want you flinging it up, sinking it all in here. This bit we don't want working. We want it in your joint. Okay, so with control, lift that leg up, lift it up, lift it up. Find where it suddenly wants to drop and won't go anymore, and then lengthen it down. So lift it up with control. Feel where it's working in that hip and lengthen it down. 3 more. See if you can stretch it out of that joint longer each time. Reach it longer through your crown. Reach it longer through your foot. Last one. And lower it down. Good. It's hard, isn't it? Slowing it down is hard. So the last one on this side is called circles. So you can see what's coming. So lifting that leg, now we want to add that turn out. We want this in the inner thigh. You're going to draw a circle around that heel. They have to go behind your foot as well as in front. That's the harder bit. About the size of a dinner plate. You want to reach them longer with every circle, as if you're drilling your foot through the wall. Change direction. You want to brush that heel each time. Probably want to be pulling those abs in to support you as well if you've forgotten about those. Last 2. And bring that leg down. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. Okay, one more on this side before we turn over to the other side. Now I want you to bring your feet in line with your body. Okay, so your legs are bent and your feet are in line with your bottom. This is called clam. So now your arm goes long. Okay, hand can still support you. If you do this one against a wall, it's even better because you can't cheat at all. Okay, so your top leg is going to open like a clamshell and lower it down. So your hips are not to roll at all. It might not be a very big movement. If you start rolling back again, it's not working what you need. So that's where a wall is really good. So then you can't move. This will really work those glutes. If you're not feeling your glutes, which I have to say I am, you can move your feet further away. I'm going to keep mine there because I'm feeling it. Small movements, big results. 3 more. These glutes are so important for supporting your hips. And come down. Good, so you can either roll over to your other side, although you might not be able to see me, or safely turn yourself over onto the other side. I'm not going to turn around because then you won't be able to see me, although you may say that's a benefit. It's up to you. Okay, so lying long, bring your feet to the front. So remember, your collarbone's wide, you're pulling your abs in, your hand is supporting you. You're long, you're not slumped watching TV, you're long. Your hand can be long, but I want you lengthened through your body. So we're going to start lifting that top leg, and we're going to turn it out and in. Hip height, remember. Turn it and in. Get those hip joints really strong. Two more. And then lower that leg down. Okay, so front and back. Remember, keep it in the joint, keep it controlled. Now hip height, check that hip height. Reach it to the front, reach it to the back. Keep it controlled, keep it on the level. Make sure it's not lifting. And reach. Take it forward and back. 3 more, keeping that control. Make sure your body is still long, you haven't sunk. You're pulling those abs in. Stretching that leg as long as you can. Last one. And then lower it down. Okay. Up and down. So remember again, keep it in the joint. So lift it up till you feel your middle's going to sink, and then reach it longer. Lift it up. Reach it longer. Lift it up. Reach it away. 2 more. Make sure you control it coming down. Last one. And lower it down. Okay. Little circles. So we're going to circle. Brushing that heel. Make sure those circles go behind. Keeping those hips still. Change direction. Feeling it now. And bring that leg down. Okay, take your arm long. Bending your legs so your feet are in line with your bottom, so you're nice and long all the way down your back. And from here we're going to do our clams. You're going to open your shell and lower. Now if you like me, you've got one side tighter than the other. This is an awful lot easier than it was on the other side. We really are quite squiffy, most of us, I think. So remember, don't let those hips roll back at all. Even if it's a really small movement, that's the way to improve it. Those glutes should be burning. 2 more. Last one. And bring your leg down. Good, okay. We're going to go into swimming now, which is very much about control. So we're going to do swimming full line. There's also one you do on your hands and knees. Now, swimming, we don't want to make any splash. Okay, so again, not a big movement. You want to glide through this water. So your hips anchor on the mat. No rolling about, and your shoulders are still. Imagine you're one of those Olympic swimmers. You see them glide. So arms in front, legs are long behind. Lift your head out of the water so you can breathe. Pull those abs off the mat. Lift one arm and the opposite leg, but keep that hip anchored. See if you can get that thigh off the floor and lower it down. Shoulders are still. See if you can lift that thigh as you reach that leg and arm as long as you can. And lower. Lengthen them, reach them long. And lower. Anchoring those hips, reach. Keeping those shoulders still as you reach. It's about length, not lift. Reach it away. One more each side. Last one. And come down. Have a breath for a minute. Okay, now we're going to come up into standing. So I want you to come onto your side, bring yourself into sitting. Take a moment if you need to. I don't want anyone standing up too quickly and getting dizzy. You've been on the floor for a while. And then safely come up into standing. And we're going to do mermaid. So mermaid is often done on the mat. I would highly recommend, if you've got osteoporosis, not only do you do it in standing, if you can possibly do it against a wall, that's even better. I have a number of clients that do mermaid in standing. It's perfectly normal. It's so important that your spine isn't twisted and hunched over, which is where the wall is useful because it can keep you standing tall. We're going to be lengthening up and over. It's safe to do, but if you're starting in this position, that's not good. So that's why it's not so good on the floor. So stand yourselves up for mermaid in class, finding a wall if you can. Have your feet hip width in parallel so you've got a nice base of support. Bring one arm up to your ear, scoop those abs in, and then reach up, lifting those ribs as you stretch up and over. Make yourself longer as you stretch over. Come through the centre. And then the other side, stretch, lift those ribs away from those hips. See how much length you can get into the centre. Keep pulling those abs into your spine. Make yourself tall. Stretch through that crown. And center. So each time you go over, you lift and make yourself even longer. Find that stretch down that side. Lifting up and over. Last one. Reaching over. Again, one side's probably tighter than the other. And come into the center. Good. Okay. We're going to do a couple of little exercises to finish in standing. So this one is called chest expansion. Again, it opens that chest, reaching those shoulders down your back. So bring your arms up in front. Okay, so your shoulders are down. As you breathe in, pull your abs in, reach your arms back. So you breathe in. Breathe out as they float back up. Breathing in, reach those shoulders down and back. Opening that chest and lift up. You want to keep scooping that belly in to make sure your ribs don't flare. What I don't want is this. That's not pretty, is it? So as you reach back, you've got to pull those abs in, keep those ribs pulled down. Breathing out. So breathing in, pull those abs in, reach those shoulders down and back. Breathe out. Last one. And breathe out. Good. Give those shoulders a little circle out if you need to. Okay. So we're now going to do one called shoulder squeeze. Again, it's good for opening this chest because it's all too easy to hunch over in everyday life. Checking you stood tall, pulling those abs in to support, hands to your shoulders. Reach those shoulders and arms down and back. And release. Again, no ribs flaring. I don't want this. Yeah, you're not really doing your shoulders any good there. It's just your shoulders reach down and back. So you want to keep pulling that belly button to your spine. Reach them down and back. Don't rush it. Do it nice and slow and controlled. 2 more. Last one. And then give those shoulders a circle. Okay, it's a little exercise. I've sort of renamed it the John Travolta because we don't know what to call it, but it's a little bit Saturday Night Fever. So standing with your feet a bit wider than shoulder width now. Scooping those bellies in. Okay, you want to tuck your tail under and just bend your knees slightly. So it's not like a squat where you're sitting back. You want to tuck that tail under, bend your knees slightly so you still stood tall. Bring your arms to one side and then you're going to lift that arm. Look up to the stars, twist around and open and come back in. Twist around, follow your hand with your eyes as you look up and coming in. Last one, twist around, opening that chest and come in. Give your legs a little shake out. I apologise for my cat. She thinks it's lunchtime. She's wrong, but she thinks it is. Okay, so again, scooping in, tucking that tail under, bend your knees. Hands over to the other side. Lifting up and around, look to the stars. And come in. Lifting up to the stars. And coming in. Last one, lift up. And coming in. Shake those legs out. Good, bring your heels together. Lifting your arches, squeezing your heels, wrapping your seat. Scooping your belly in, standing up tall. Take a big breath in, lift up onto your toes, reach for the sky. Breathe out and lower down with control. And again, big breath in, stretch up. Breathe out, press your heels down. Last one, big breath in, stretching up. Leave your head on the ceiling, stretch that spine as you press your heels down and stand tall. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it. Happy birthday, Mum. And I'll hopefully see you all soon. Bye.